Hi everyone, welcome to Everyday, your daily stop for virtual reality content. My name is Dee, and today we are going to check out Quake II VR, which is a port of the original Quake II, released in 1997, to the Oculus Rift Development Kit 2. Now this is possible because the source code for Quake II was actually released under an open source license, the GPL, in 2001. Not the artwork, just the source code. Before I get into that, I want to talk a little bit about what Quake II is, for those of you who are not familiar. It's a first-person shooter, released in 1997 by id Software. Back then, the first-person shooter genre was still really starting up. It sold over 1 million copies, it was critically acclaimed. It was the most played online game of 1998. It has a multiplayer online mode. And the lead programmer on that project, who innovated a lot of the technologies that went into it, was John Carmack, who, as you may know, is now the Chief Technology Officer at Oculus. Even though he has nothing to do with the project in particular, it's an interesting connection. So, because the source code of this game is available publicly, it's been ported to like almost everything in existence. There was a version ported to the PlayStation, to the Nintendo 64. They've made mobile versions, they've made a Java version, they've made an HTML5 version that runs in the browser. I'm not even kidding, this exists. And now we have our own port to the Oculus Rift. So, a little bit about the mod developer. The name of the mod developer is Luke Groninger. Luke is currently a master's student at the University of Colorado in Boulder, Colorado in the US. He has a computer science degree, and he's currently doing a degree in ICT for development, which is researching how to apply technology to socioeconomic development, things like that. The mod is based partly on Riftquake. Riftquake was an earlier mod of the original Quake 1 for the Oculus Rift Development Kit 1, the previous version. And it was created by Dominique Slabluski and John Marshall way back in July 2013 in the early days of the Rift DK1. And this was first released in August 2013, originally for the Development Kit 1. And it was just recently released for the Development Kit 2, just a few days ago, on August 6th. So, like I mentioned, the original art of Quake II hasn't been released publicly, so you have to still have a copy of the game if you want to play it. That's not a big deal. The game, original Quake II, is available on Steam now for like $10, and it's a pretty good deal for such a classic game. The mod is also based on the KM Quake II engine, which was created by a modder named Nightmare, with a K, Nightmare. And it's just an enhanced Quake II engine that adds a bunch of graphical features, support for HD textures and things like that. If you go to the author of the mod's website of this Quake II VR mod, he talks a little bit about his motivations. He had this nostalgia for the Quake II railgun, and that's why he decided to implement this. And he added a bunch of very cool features. He, in addition to the support for VR, he also added support for positional audio, so you can tell where things are coming from and hear them around you. He added support for a bunch of post-processing effects to make the game prettier, and added support for the Xbox 360 gamepad for the people who prefer to play using a gamepad. So, Quake II VR, like all Quake II derivatives, is available under an open source license. You can go check out the source code for yourself if you want, and create your own versions of it if you want to. There's a link in the description. So that's all for Quake II VR. I want to briefly mention, before I dive in here, that there is also a mod under development right now for the original Quake, also for the Oculus Rift DK2. And they've just released an early version of that. And it's a little more finicky. It uses an older version of the Oculus Rift SDK, which means you have to like stop the service and do some other finicky things. You have to set your IPD manually. You can only set the VR settings from the console using CVARs, so it's not for the faint of heart. This Quake II VR mod is much farther along in terms of being easy to use. Without further ado, let's jump into Quake II. Let's go. Alright, here we are at the main menu of Quake II VR. And if I hit escape, it'll play some of this demo sequence here. I don't like to watch the demo sequence too long because it's rather uncomfortable when you have someone else moving you around in VR. For the same reason, I don't particularly recommend that you watch this video inside your DK2 because I'm going to be moving fast, and if you're not in control, you're going to suffer. It's perfectly safe to watch on your monitor though, unless you're like super prone to sickness. And I'm going to start out with the single player mode. I'm going to play it on hard. Hard seems reasonable. So we have our opening cinematic. I'm just going to skip this. You guys can go play the full Quake 2 if you want to check that out. I'm going to dive right into the game. So, short explanation of that cutscene. I'm a space marine. My name is Bitterman, and I just crashed my shuttle into the space here. And now there are going to be dudes trying to kill me. So, everything runs super smooth. The low persistence is perfect. And I'm able to move my weapon within a region in front of me. If I move it too far, I start to turn my actual body. This is the default mode, and it works quite well. This is very similar to how Half-Life 2 implemented their initial VR support. Alright, come at me, where are you guys? There's a guy. So there's full stereoscopic 3D, it all works beautifully. I have my full correct field of view. The distortion is using the 0.4.0 Oculus SDK, and so it appears just perfectly. And there are actually a ton of VR settings for this game that I will go through as I play it. And they are very useful in exploring kind of the capabilities of the DK2 and what different settings look like. Oh shit, forgot about that guy. It's really cool to see when you fire your weapon, just to watch that rocket going out away from your body. You can see it receding with stereoscopy. It's very, very effective. It's also very easy, I find, to aim inside the Oculus Rift. It's actually easier for me to aim inside the Rift than it is playing on a monitor. Because it's hard to explain why. It's like I look and then I just kind of precisely aim with the gun, and it all just works very nicely. And I'm kind of zoomed in the center of my view, so I have a lot of precision. I don't know whether I would actually have an advantage playing this in DK2 versus playing it on a monitor, but I definitely feel like there are both advantages and disadvantages. And I feel like some people would definitely be more effective inside the development kit too. So I have full positional tracking. As you can see, I'm leaning around this obstacle. I can lean in close to it. There's also this weird stereoscopy conflict effect here, where my gun is inside the object, but it's being rendered in front of it. And that's just a common problem with any kind of foreground elements in a game like this. There's not much of a way around it. Similarly, the HUD is inside the object, but it's being rendered in front of it. The HUD's not super legible. It's a little bit tiny. I don't usually look at it too much, and I can read the numbers, so that's good enough. But I definitely would like to see them do something like maybe like the HLVR mod did, where the numbers are moved, onto your body or onto your suit, and you have to like hold it up and examine it. I see you. There we go. That's a better weapon. The scale's a little bit weird. These guys don't look like exactly the right size of full-size guys. They're kind of small. But the scale, I mean, considering they didn't really mess with any of the graphic elements, any of the models in the game, and they still have pretty good scale, I think that's impressive enough. So I've altered a couple of the default virtual reality options for the purpose of this video. I will show you those in just a minute after I shoot a couple more dudes. Ah! Okay, gotta be careful. Alright, I like to use shotgun when I'm playing in VR because it gives me an excuse to get up close to dudes and see them really closely and precisely. Hello, I remembered you were here. You didn't like being shot in the face, did you? Did you? Whoa! That guy's head just flew right at me when I blew up those barrels. That was awesome. Okay. I know I should not revel in violence, but this game is really, really cool. Okay. So the options I was going to show you. If I go into options, first I'll show you my video. I messed up some of my video stuff. I set video mode to 2560 1440. I don't know if this actually does anything. I'm hoping it gave me some anti-aliasing. I set texture filter to trilinear, turned on my anisotropic filtering at 16x, and I set post-process anti-aliasing to 4x SSAA, which helps a lot with the text in the menus. Just if you compare that, the text gets quite a bit blurrier if you look really closely at it, whereas in 4x SSAA, super sample anti-aliasing, it's quite a bit clearer. Those are the main things I changed there. Not a big deal. And the virtual reality options, I changed just a couple things here. Most of these you can just leave at default. They're actually quite good defaults. In the advanced options, I changed chromatic correction from yes to no. So when it's yes, it actually looks better for me inside the Rift. Like, if I turn it to no, I see like the text at the bottom of this options dialog has like a rainbow effect. It's kind of red at the top and blue at the bottom. And if I set it to yes, that goes away. But if I set it to no, I think it's better for you guys who are watching on your monitor because you don't see the distracting chromatic aberration correction that's being applied. Just know that it's actually less aberration in this mode for me, but it's more for you when you're watching on your monitor because that's how the correction works. The other thing that I changed is I changed DK2 black boost. So you may be familiar with the black smearing problem, which is when you look at a dark region. Let me get to a dark place. Here we go, nice and dark. So when I'm in a dark place like this and I move my head up and down, just like this, I see the dark black regions smearing across that wall. I see like almost like I have DK1 motion blur, but just in the parts of the image where it's dark black. So that's called true black smearing. And what you can do to get rid of that is you can just make all the black parts of the image just a little bit brighter. And that's what the black boost does. So now you can see they're no longer black, they're gray. And I no longer have that smearing effect. And that's one simple workaround for it. For the purpose of this video, I am turning it off so that you guys watching on your monitors can see it nice and dark black. And Oculus is coming up with a fix in the SDK that will mitigate this problem for all game developers. And hopefully it'll be better than simply turning everything gray like this application is doing right now. It's really cool being able to easily look above your head in this game. There's a lot to explore. Am I going the right way? I'm not even going the right way. I don't want to go in there. That's back towards the entrance. Okay. And I will show you some of the other settings as I go through the level. Hello! So easy to kill. Oh, these guys are a little harder to kill, and they have a machine gun. Oh shit, there's 3 of them. Die! Oh, how many of you are there? This is not fair. There were not this many enemies when I played this on easy mode. Alright. And they have more health. I should have expected that. Okay. I think I am a little bit safer now. I like how in Quake II they add these insects over the corpses after they've been there for a while. And that lets you know if you're like backtracking because you can see the insects over the old bodies that you visited before. The soundtrack in this game is great. I hear it doesn't have the original soundtrack in the Steam version, but I haven't actually heard the original soundtrack. Believe it or not, I never played Quake II when it came out when I was a kid. I don't know why. I never bought it. I never played it. I've only just started playing it today. I played it on the monitor for a little while, so it would have a point of comparison to the VR version. Alright, let's move. So they do these loading screens where it's just black and you have this loading thing stuck to your face. And that's not terrible. But I would prefer if they made it so you can still see the level and look around the level while it's loading, even if you can't move. Just because that makes it feel a lot better. It is, at least they don't do what Half-Life 2 does and freeze it while it's loading. That's the worst thing you can do. If you're wondering why my groans sound female, it's because I'm playing a female avatar, as I usually do. Stop it. Stop it. Okay. Like I was saying, now that I filled the room with flies, what other settings can I mess with here? Virtual reality settings. So this is the aim mode, and the aim mode's really interesting because the original Quake Rift mod, I can't remember what it's called right now, but there was a mod for the original Oculus Rift DK1 for Quake, the original Quake, and they created it so they could mess around with different aiming modes, beyond just the aiming modes that Half-Life 2 was messing with. And so there, let me explore just a few of them. So there's Dead Zone with View Move, and I'll explain that distinction. So View Move means that if I am looking this way, and now I look left, and then I hit W to go forward, and I go down the ramp. That is View Move. If I turn on Dead Zone with Aim Move, now, and then I turn my weapon to the right, and then I go down. So let me explain this again. So if I aim my weapon directly forward, then I look left, and I keep hitting my W, I keep going straight forward. So what this lets me do is decouple my look direction from my moving direction a little bit. So I instead move in the direction that my weapon is facing at all times. This is convenient for like walking across raised platforms. You can just kind of point your weapon straight across the platform, and then you can run across it while you're also looking to the left and right. So that's handy. There's totally decoupled view aiming. This is useful if you're playing the game with your development kit 1, where you can stand up and spin around 360 degrees. And then you can use your mouse or if they had Razer Hydra support, you would be able to use your Hydra to control the gun then and move it around as you turn your body all around. But it's not very useful at the moment. I don't really, because there's no way to turn your body, so my body's just stuck in its current orientation. And I don't know if there's a way to deal with that. There might be. There's no head tracking. You should never use this mode. Just don't. There's head aiming. Head aiming is kind of the newbie mode. This is where you always, some people call it face gun mode. It's where you always shoot wherever your face is turned, so you don't have to use your mouse. Well, you have to use your mouse to shoot, but just your mouse button. You don't have to move your mouse. So you can just do like that, and then you can look somewhere else and do like that, and you always move in the direction that you're facing as well. So face gun, face moving. There is head aiming mouse pitch mode. I don't like this mode very much. This enables you to actually move your head up and down using your mouse. Generally, I find that very disorienting. I prefer to only move my head up and down using the Rift, and to move my mouse up and down within a window. I really don't like this mode. It just freaks me out. Mouse aiming. In mouse aiming mode, you can basically move your mouse anywhere you want, so there's no limitations. In the Dead Zone mode, as you moved your mouse to the edge, it would eventually stop round about here, and you wouldn't be able to move it farther. So let me compare that. So if I go back to Dead Zone with View Move, so if I move it up there, it can't go any farther up than that. If I move it down there, it can't go any farther down. If I move it left, I can move it about this far left, then I start to turn. If I move it right, about this far right, then I start to turn. If I go back to mouse aiming, in mouse aiming mode, I can't move it left or right at all without turning. And I can move it up as far as I want, 90 degrees, and 90 degrees down. So I have more up and down range, and left and right turns me immediately. That's how mouse aiming mode works. There's mouse aiming and mouse pitch. That's the combination of the last two modes. I don't like mouse pitch, like I said. There's strict dead zone. Strict dead zone means it's very similar to the previous dead zone modes that I showed you. I'm not clear actually how it's different. I think it means that the dead zone's always the same regardless of which way you're looking. Yeah, I think that's how it works. And so dead zone with view move. So when I have dead zone, you know, I don't know. I don't know what's the difference between those two dead zone modes. But in any case, those are the viewing modes, viewing and aiming modes. So some people might prefer one of those modes over another. I like to stick with the default mode. I find it the most pleasant. You stay away from me. Why is he so strong? I just shot him in the chest with a shotgun twice. Normal people would not survive that. I just got a minigun weapon. You saw me use on those guys. I'm going to switch back to my shotgun because I like it. Bye-bye. Is he still down there? Let's see if I can shoot. Oh, shit. There he is. This isn't a good distance to be using my shotgun at, but it works. All right, let's keep moving. Oh, shit. Oh, shit. There's more of them. These guys need to stop coming out at me. All right. Let's just chill for a minute. Yeah, like on this door here, I can see the true black smearing very clearly. And in the default mode, it has the black boost turned on, so you wouldn't be able to see that. But I kind of like having these really dark blacks. So like if I go into a dark corner, where's a nice dark corner? Yeah, I'll find one as I go. But it's nice to feel like when you're looking into a dark black corner that you're actually in the dark. Nice. Okay. Where next? Where next? I don't know where to go. I don't know this map very well. I played through it like one time before I recorded this. Okay. I don't need to go that way. Maybe I want to go down here? No, this is where I was a minute ago. Okay, well at least there's some health. Okay. Well, while I'm here, I can show you, like, if I look in a dark corner, like back here, if I'm back here, everything just feels like I'm in a dark closet. It is super dark. The OLED pixels just turn off when I'm back in this corner, and I like that a lot. It's nice to feel like you're actually in a dark place and not have that distracting gray backlight. Hello! I'm not using cover very effectively. There we go. All right. And they just blew up the bridge, so I can't cross it. Or can I? Oh yeah, you don't tell me what to do. I cross when I want to. Ah! Don't sneak up on me. There we go. All right. There's another one. Thank you for the box. All right. So I can't open this door right now. That's fine. What other controls options have I not shown you? So I showed you all the aiming modes. There are a bunch of those. I don't know what force view move does. Someone can explain that to me. Vertical dead zone and horizontal dead zone set how far you can move your mouse, left, right, or up, down before it stops it. Field of view, you can either set field of view. I don't think that actually does anything in DK2, actually. Interpupillary distance, you can either set it from your profile, which is auto, or you can set it manually. This is the interpupillary distance set at 0, which is monoscopic mode. I don't know if it optimizes in IPD 0, so that it only renders one view. That would be a nice optimization if it did that. But yeah, you can manually set your IPD here to whatever, if you want to. Let me dive into the advanced options a little bit. So one cool thing is the aiming laser. If you have trouble seeing exactly what you're shooting at in VR, the aiming laser is a very nice solution to that. It also has really great stereoscopic effect. You can really see it receding into the distance. And I still suck. That's okay. I see you back there. Come out and play. Come out. There you are. So yeah, that's how the aiming laser works. A lot of people see this as just being easy mode, but it's useful sometimes. It's useful if you have trouble aiming in VR for whatever reason. I'm going to turn it off. And motion prediction, you probably don't want to mess with this. This sets how many milliseconds of motion prediction you have. HUD depth. HUD depth sets how far away the HUD that's floating in front of us is. It's pasted onto a sphere or a semi-sphere, so that's why it looks curved like this. And as it gets farther away, it also becomes larger. So this is as far away as it gets, and you can see it is quite far into the scene now. It's now floating over that water. And some people prefer it to be farther away so you can relax your eyes a bit when you're looking at it. Some people prefer it to be closer so you don't get as much stereoscopic conflict with objects. And the HUD FOV sets the size of the HUD. So you can make the HUD super big if you have trouble reading the HUD. This is one way to do it, but you will also not be able to see all of it very well at one time because the HUD moves with your head. Some people also prefer to make it super tiny. Not that tiny, but you know, if you can still, I can still read it at this size, and I can see it all very clearly. So this might be a HUD FOV I might want to use, maybe a little bit bigger. In any case, I'm going to reset this to default and turn chromatic correction back off. And I don't, and you can make it opaque if you want to. I'm not sure why you'd want to, but yeah, it's a personal aesthetic. I don't know what HUD bouncing does. It's a secret. You can disable positional tracking here. So I'll show you what happens if I do that. So I just set that to no. So now let's walk up to, say, something like this. And I'm going to lean my head to the right, lean my head to the left, and this pillar is just moving with me. And if I lean in towards it, it runs away from me, and it chases me if I lean back. So there's just no tracking. And this was what DK1 was like all the time. Let me go ahead and turn that back. There we go. So, and now if I have positional tracking, I can do like this. Much, much more natural, much more solid. The world doesn't feel so unstable. What was the correct way I need to go here? I think I need to get down inside there? Yeah. Hello. Just so you know, I am going to feature some multiplayer play a little bit later, right after I finish this single-player stage. All right, let's take a dive. Ah, loading. I hate mid-air loading. Seriously, guys, don't do that.
Recon established and confirm heavy fortification near enemy comm facility.
Hello. Did that guy get friendly fire from the other guy? There we go. I got an underwater breather. I'm not sure that'll actually be useful in this stage. I don't even remember what key I pressed to use it. I am super newbie at Quake 2. Holy shit, what is that thing? What is it? Oh my god. Oh my god. Die! And that guy was behind me the whole time. Alright. Well, that was freaky. I just lost an assload of health, but I got most of it back, thanks to the copious health packs. Oh shit, there's another. Holy shit, what is that? What is that thing it's using? Is that a railgun? Oh my god. Okay. I'm seriously gonna die. I'm gonna be killed by those horrible things. Ugh. At least that guy blew himself up. Okay. Anybody else want to join the party? Didn't think so. Time for me to get some quad damage. Let's do it. I know how to use this one. Yeah! That's how we take care of business. I'm not going to bother getting that thing. There we go. Whoa, I heard that guy coming from my right. Positional audio is so awesome in this game. The original game, of course, did not have positional audio with HTRFs. Okay, my quad is running out now. But I made good use of it. Totally worth it. Totally worth it. Hold still. Thank you. All right. So far, so good. Do I want to go upstairs? Yes, I do. Hello. Now, keep in mind, this is a very fast-paced game. Some people prefer to go into the console and decrease their walking and running speed while playing this game to make it more comfortable. If you are a new user to the Rift, or even someone who's only been playing for a little while, I do recommend that you do that. I don't have the C-bars handy right now, but I will note them in the description. So you can, to bring up the console, you just hit tilde, and then I'll give you the instructions to put in here to turn down your walking and running speed. I'm playing it at full speed because I have enough comfort with VR by now that I can do this and I can not get sick even after playing for a while. But people who play this game as their first experience on the, like, just don't do it. Don't play this game as your first game on the Rift, or else you are going to have a bad time. You should start with experiences where you're not moving around. Experiences like Der Grosse Gottlieb has been already ported. Holy shit, it's alive! It's alive. Oh god. I hate these things. I hate them. There's two of them. Die! I hate them so much. It just broke right through the wall, right behind me. Okay. I'm alive. I'm still alive. Okay. Haven't died yet. My health is not looking so great, though. Okay. These low-res textures are really reminiscent of the 90s. And these big, like these, how the models are really, really low poly. But it works really great in VR for that reason. I've never had an issue with performance, even while recording. I get 75 frames a second all the time. I get low persistence all the time. It just works. No stuttering or anything. I'm gonna die. I'm so gonna die. Okay, I took care of one guy. I'm going to hide back here. Come on. Come on. Finally. All right. Health packs, just what I needed. Anybody back here? Just ammo. All right. Doing good. All right, let's push this. Okay, I don't know what this does exactly. It seems to turn that satellite. I think that's one of my mission objectives. Am I like making contact with my base? I don't know. I don't really understand the plot of this game. One of you guys will have to explain what I'm doing there. All right. What other options have I not showed you? Back into the options. Oculus Rift options. You can turn off time warp, and you can turn off motion prediction. My frame rate's so high and smooth, I actually noticed very little difference with these disabled. Distortion FOV. By default, it will use the FOV of the distortion, which controls how much black space is on the screen, will be set according to your profile, which is in turn determined by how much eye relief you have, how close your eyes are to the screen. If you set the screen maximum, it'll just set it to the largest possible setting. I actually might leave it at that so you guys can see more. I don't know. I think my distortion FOV is actually already a maximum, but we'll see how it looks. You can turn off low persistence if you want to see what it's like to not have it. So let me turn that off for a second. My screen just got a little bit brighter. And now if I look around, I can see motion blur as I move my head. And the fine details of that door, for example, are very clearly blurred as I move my head. Even though I'm running a full 75 frames a second, which even on DK1 would only have a little bit of motion blur. That motion blurs. And I'm dead. I should have saved. I really should have saved. All right, you know what, guys? I'm going to go into... I'm going to turn back on... I'm going to turn back on my low persistence, and then I'm going to go straight into the multiplayer, because I don't want to play all the way back to this point. Just not going to do it. So it's time for some multiplayer. So, since this is based on KM Quake 2, you'll only be able to join KM Quake 2 servers by default. That's why it says version 56 here, KM Quake 2. If you want to join normal servers, which most Quake II servers out in the wild are, you have to change this option to version 34. I have a couple servers here in my address book. And I'm going to refresh the server list. I created a server called moonflare.com for other Rift DK2 owners. If you want to play with other people with Rift DK2, you can stop by there anytime, but it's not very busy right now, so I'm not going to go there. I'm going to go to the Tasty Spleen DK2 server, which has a pretty good ping. I should have a good time. Oh, looks like I'm loading. Okay, well, while we're loading, so I'm actually really excited after reading more about John Carmack's accomplishments that he's working for Oculus now. As I mentioned, he was a big proponent of time warping and one of the major people implementing it at Oculus. And that doesn't surprise me because that's always been the kind of thing he does. He comes up with new mechanisms, new technical mechanisms that enable you to do awesome new things. He helped develop the raycasting technology in Wolfenstein 3D. He helped develop the side-scrolling technology in the original Commander Keen series that enabled it to do a lot of things that Nintendo could do that were not possible on the PC before. I love the way this weapon looks in the Rift. The stereoscopy is just great. Okay, I'm respawned. I'm gonna suck at this game because I have not played Quake II that much. I'm always in last place. I already practiced this a little bit. Woo! I got a kill. Alright, so far so good. Oh boy. Oh boy. I don't know how to do any of the pro moves. I don't know how to rocket jump or any of that. I don't know if this game even has rocket jumping. I don't know if this game has bunny hopping. I'm pretty bad at jumping around over obstacles, but I will make do. I will make do. I can hold my own. I played quite a bit of Unreal Tournament, which is obviously inspired by the Quake series very strongly. Ow. All right. I don't know if using the DK2 should count as cheating. Like I said, it's not clear to me if it gives an advantage or not. All right. Ah! Okay, I think we both just got blown up there. Somebody with a rocket launcher was after us. Ah! Okay. I've shown you most of the settings now. Is my arm... Yeah, it's a little bit buggy. Yeah, my aiming is not working at the moment. I'm actually going to just... Is it unbroken now? Let me go to the menu. It's a little hard to see this when I'm seeing the other players behind it. What did I want to mess with? The aiming mode. Right. I'm in the wrong menu. Aiming mode. Okay, I think this will reset it. Probably. Maybe. Okay, that didn't work at all. I'm just going to quit the server for a minute. Go back to single player. And I think this will fix it. Yep, looks good. It's a little bit buggy, but they're working on it. All right, refresh. Refresh. There we go. Should be okay. All right. So that's how you fix that issue if you run across it. Ow! Did I just run over a grenade like a moron? Okay. Okay, I'm fine. Okay. Gotta keep my wits about me. God damn, these people are good. You Quake II veterans are probably looking at this and being like, that's not even a pro server. You suck. I know I suck. This is just a pub. Nothing special. Ah. I had a shotgun. I like the shotgun a lot, but I couldn't close the distance with that guy. Probably because I had a shotgun and he was avoiding to get close to me. Ah. Yeah. Took that one out. Doing all right, doing all right. Ah! I like that this game has a really quick respawn. Lets me get right back into the action. No delay. It does sometimes result in me dying like 3 times in a minute, but I don't mind. I should not run right in front of that person. It's really helpful to have more field of view so that you can see people. Ow! So like if I'm running somewhere and I catch a glimpse of somebody running by to my right, I can turn to face them and shoot at them, or I can run away. And the Rift is really useful for that. Like normally when you play in a game like this, if you play with a large FOV, it gives you a certain advantage. But it's even better in a way when it's a large FOV mapped onto your real life large FOV, because it's much more natural. Yeah! Taking care of business. Yeah! I'm doing alright. Not too bad, not too bad. I can always use armor. Ah! What happened? Did I walk over a grenade or something? I'm not sure what happened there. I want that weapon though. Okay. So as you can see, this is a very fast game. And people have been saying that a fast game like this doesn't work in VR, but I think, like from my point of view as someone who's well adapted to VR, I find it to be, I find it works very well. I like the motion. It feels very frenetic and energetic. I like being able to maneuver around and catch up with people. And other people are going to have trouble with this if they haven't got their VR legs yet, but that doesn't mean that games like this that are adapted for them, for example by turning down movement speed or making other similar adaptations, maybe shrinking the scale of the stage couldn't work just as well. So I think this genre is still going to work on the Rift. It just needs to be adapted a little bit. All right, got to use my positional audio to hear where they're coming from. I think the positional audio probably gives me more of an advantage over stock players than anything else. Because I can really just kind of hunker down in a shadowy corner and listen. Ah. And that's it. My final score, 8. That's kind of bad. But, you know, I just started playing this today, so that's my excuse. I think that's going to be enough for now. I really shouldn't shoot an idle player, but I did. All right, that's enough for this. I think I've shown you guys everything I wanted to show you. I think this genre works really well in the Rift, even though it does take some being accustomed to the Rift in order to handle these high movement speeds. I think that you can still adapt it for other people. I like how this I like how it keeps high performance even though it is a full game. I like that it has a great multiplayer experience. The positional audio that was added by the developer of this mod helps quite a lot. Well, that was suicide. And I think it's a really great game. It's a great adaptation, and I really hope to see a lot of other classic games brought to this, and similar games made natively for VR that help to address some of the limitations of ports like this. That's all for today. I will see you guys next time. Let me know what you think of this game. Let me know what other games in this genre you want to see. And let me know any other demos you want to see me play. Everybody have a great every day.